Hi guys, and welcome to the next installment of my makeup inventory slash collection. I've been doing all my eyeshadows today, so I'm in the same outfit as my single eyeshadows and my palettes, like that were 2 to 4 shadows. So definitely check those out. They came the last 2 Saturdays. They're in the makeup inventory for 2017. So we're just gonna get started. These are obviously larger eyeshadow palettes. That means 5 and above. So anyways, we're just gonna get started, and I'm really excited. If you watched my 2 to 4, like 2 eyeshadows to 4 eyeshadow palettes, then you know that those are my favorite. I really like these, but these take forever to use up, and they're like, you have to really think about them, and they're just larger. And so I really only want like 2 or 3 of them in my collection in general. I have quite a long ways to get there, but in 2015 I had 5, and in 2016 I had 12. We're going to talk about some of the ones that I added in here. And in 2017 I have 11. The one I used up is my e.l.f. Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette. Was my 2016 my 2016 Pan That palette. It had 144 shades, so I'm really happy that that one is gone. I had to like go through and see which one I used up. I was like, you'd think I'd remember 144 shades. But we're just gonna get started. Since we were talking about e.l.f., we will go to the next e.l.f. one, and this is the e.l.f. 32-piece eyeshadow palette. This palette, I feel like we do not need those. We're just gonna throw those away. I don't understand why they come with these. They just break. But anyways, I feel like this palette is hard to use in a few ways. I feel like there's a lot of crease shades and darker shades, and then there are some, like a few pops of color and some highlighting shades. I don't feel like there's a lot of lid shades. I feel like, you know, maybe this and this are lid shades. The palette itself, like the shapes are really hard to use, and so I don't gravitate towards this one. I think this is going to be a palette I'm going to have to use with some single eyeshadows, which I do want to like start working on my single eyeshadows. I would definitely check out that collection video, but I think this is a palette that I'm going to have to use with other eyeshadows, which is crazy because there's 32 shades, but I just don't feel like there's a lot of lid shades. Like I feel like the lid shades are these like little triangles, and so I think this eyeshadow palette might take a little bit longer, but at the same time I feel like it's gonna go faster than I think, like having 32 shades, just because some of the shades are so tiny. But we'll have to see. Like this is one I'm really curious to play with. So yeah, we'll see what 2018 brings. But there's that. The next one I kind of want to use up, and this is one I got in a box. This is one that like I got in last year. This is the LA Colors 12 eyeshadow palette in Chic. So you can see I've used one and hit pan on 2, which is super exciting. And so again, I don't know if these shadows are really powdery. It's LA Colors, so it's not super high quality. So I think this would be another easier palette, even though it is a larger palette to work through. I mean, obviously it's going to take some time, but at the same time, even though there are 12 shades, like I don't think it's going to take like a whole year, for instance, because their shadows are like, when I've used them, so powdery. It didn't take me long to hit pan on those 2 or finish this one up. So, which is good when I'm trying to whittle down my collection to have just a few, and currently I have 11. So yes, the next one is one that's kind of like the e.l.f. palette, because it's another one that can't be used on its own, which I think is so funny that 2 of my large palettes, I feel like I can't use them on their own. And this is the Color Me Glow palette, and so all these colors are super shimmery, so obviously they'd be great lid shades or highlighting shades, but you would need another like crease color. So this might be another one that you use with some single eyeshadows. And the next 2 were ones that I also got last year. My husband got them for me for Christmas, and they are by Lancome, and this is in Cool Night. So again, these are pretty shimmery shades, so I feel like you would need, again, like a crease, like a matte crease color. But they're gorgeous colors. And This has 2.5 grams, so not too much product for having 5 shades. So yeah. The other one is Cool Day. This one has more matte, so I might end up using these two together. This is Cool Night and this is Cool Day, so I might end up using these together because there's definitely some mattes. If you can see, they have very similar colors, but these are shimmery and the daytime ones are matte. So I might end up mixing these two palettes together for a look, but we'll have to see. We'll have to play with those. The next one I definitely can use for it by itself, and this is a Wet n Wild. It was a limited edition in Melrose Face. So it just looks like this. It has 5 shades, and I love these shades, and so I bought it even though it was limited edition, and that's one of the 7 that I gained too. So there's that. And then we have the Twinkle Twinkle by Profusion. So it's the same. It's from this. This is also a Profusion Color Me Glow. But that's what this looks like. Again, wonderful neutral colors, and then this purple, which I really been enjoying. So really like these. And it is cruelty free if you are curious, and I got it at Walgreens, and I think it was $1. So sucker for eyeshadows, I tell you. The next one is my Wet n Wild Comfort Zone. I have not opened this yet, so it'll definitely be one we'll work through, but this will probably be one that's saved to last just because it isn't open, but we'll see. And I've heard wonderful things about that. Then I have a revealed 2 Coastal Scents because I wanted the Naked 3, and I decided to go with this. So it has a ton of shades. I think it has 20. Yeah, 20 shades. So this is going to take me forever to use, but I really like the colors. So wonderful news on that, obviously, but this will be one that probably hangs around for a little bit just because there are quite a few shades. And I'm more of an instant gratification, especially after these 2 years of 144 shades in my 2016 palette and my 96 in this year's palette. So, yeah, that one will probably be on hold for a little bit. The next one is the Smashbox Full Exposure. Just looks like this. Perfect. These 4 are matte. These are shimmery. Love these colors. This will probably be another one I wait on, just because I really like them. Which sounds weird, but the ones I use up are ones I think I can get through really quickly, or they're not my favorite. So, yeah, the last palette I have is, you know, the typical Naked palette, and I use this quite a bit, but you can't really tell, but that's what this looks like. So yeah, those are my larger palettes, which I'm super excited about. I'm just really excited to finish my Pan That palette and get to use some of these other ones. These type of videos always make me so excited to use my collection again. That's why I make these videos, honestly, is I get overwhelmed by obviously the amount of products I have. If you've watched my eyeshadow or like my makeup collection in general, you know that there's a lot of products, and I didn't just buy them all at one time, but I have a hard time getting rid of products, and they're powder products so they stay good. If I open them up or like I was using them and they were super like terrible, I'm not going to continue to use them, obviously, but that hasn't happened very much, so which I'm really grateful for. But it's just so exciting to go through and be like, it motivates you to want to use up the makeup I'm currently using so I can, you know, figure out which one I'm going to use next. And so, yeah, because I go back and forth now, like what palette I want to use next after my 96. So, but I'm thinking more instant gratification in 2018 versus a 96 eyeshadow palette. So, luckily, my next highest one is my Reveal 2, which only has 20 versus, like I said, 96. But 11 is still too much, too many eyeshadows to have. Palettes, too many eyeshadow palettes, and then there's 20s in the singles and 2 to 4. So we really need to get this moving and grooving. Hopefully soon we can get it moving and grooving. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. Definitely subscribe. Next will be lip products, which again is a category, I have issues in a lot of categories, so that's why I'm working through things and not buying things, which, you know, it's been going okay. It's been going pretty well. So, not to brag or anything, but I'm really excited. And yeah, definitely let me know if you're doing a collection, and I really like watching them. I like breaking them up and really being able to look through them and talk through them versus just like panning over them. But if you panned over them, let me know, because I like watching those collection videos too. So I will talk to you later, and yeah, subscribe so you can see the lip products. And after the lip products, we'll be moving on to nail polish. Bye!